What's up, everybody, and welcome back to StarMade. Um, uh, we're we are here showing off the Battlestar Galactica that I've been working on. This thing is freaking awesome. I can't wait to get this thing finished and give it off to you guys so you guys can play around with it. But um, it's huge. It's massive. It's like I think 1,400 meters, give or take. Let's see. Uh, I can't remember exactly what the get there. Oh wait, here we go. Stats. It's yeah, it's 1,200 meters. It's a little under 1,300 meters. Um, uh, it's 1,246 meters long. So yeah, it's a behemoth. It is definitely a behemoth. Um, I built this thing from scratch. This is a scratch build. I did not import this in as a model or anything like that. I uh, I pride myself in the ability to do that. Um, I it took me a while to get these nose cones right here looking right because oh my gosh, the angles of this ship were ridiculous. Um, the detail though is the thing that's kicking my butt right now because the amount of greebles on this ship is insane, and I was having a hard time actually finding reference material to be able to get all the details in. And finally, I found someone who made a really, really good model of the ship, um, uh, and took a whole bunch of different pictures and different angles and whatnot. Um, uh, and so I was finally able to start working on this bottom part right here again because I couldn't find a really good picture of it, and now I have some. So this is starting to look a lot better now. But these engines are probably the part of the ship that I am the most proud of. They basically look like they're straight out of the movie. Like it's just so good, or straight out of the show, because it's just so good. Especially when you look at them from a far distance, because then like it looks so good. Um, uh, but I am going to have a full interior on this thing. Well, at least as full as I can make it. This thing is huge. It's probably going to have a lot of subsystems. But it's going to have a fully functioning hangar. I don't know about the launch system. I wanted to do the launch system the way that's in the show so bad, but I don't think it's going to work. Because um, uh, the Galactica in the original show, like the new Galactica has the the fighters launching out perfectly horizontally from the ship. The original one had the fighters launching out at a 45-degree angle. And, well, StarMade doesn't do 45-degree angles very well. In fact, this right here is a separate entity, which I still have to copy on the other side of the ship that I haven't done yet. Um, these fighter tubes are really cool looking, and I do have a launch system set up with them. Like I have, well, I don't actually have them in there because you could see them if they did. But I planned on having a launch system set up in there. But the problem is trying to figure out how to make an automatic system where the fighters can come up to this and then come up to here, then turn and line up and then launch out the bay. And I was trying to figure that out for the longest time over here. I was trying to fit a mock like dolly system where it would like transfer the ship over to here and turn it and bring it over to here to a lift. Lift would bring it down, and then it could move over to here, and then the lift would bring it up, and it could rotate, and then like, but transferring an entity from one or from this entity to another entity, and then on to another entity, or back onto the previous entity, is straight mayhem. It just did not want to work, and it was so buggy, and I haven't tried it since a lot of the updates and the fixes and stuff. So heck, for as long as I've not been playing, I wouldn't be surprised if there's an actual entity transfer block now, but I doubt there is. That would be if that doesn't a thing yet. Schema, please. I want an entity transfer block. That would be so cool to be able to just transfer one entity from one, or transfer a docked ship from one entity to another entity and then back to the mother entity. Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. But if it's not in the works, then it's not in the works. But it would make my Galactica work so cool. Oh man, oh gosh, it would be so cool. Anyway, I do have some interior worked or done on this thing. I've been working on a modular interior system because this thing is so big. It's gonna take forever to try and build the interior. So I decided to go with a somewhat mostly modular interior, like the big areas, like the bridge and the sick bay and the big old giant hangar bays and a lot of the different like main locations on the ship, which there really wasn't a heck of a lot of big main locations on the ship. I think there was a couple of sports arenas, and there's like the med bay and a bunch of other different main locations on the ship. They showed a lot of really big, large, open interior areas on the inside of the ship too, especially in the engineering section. But the interior wasn't really that well flushed out in the show because, well, budget. Um, so, and the stuff that they did show was mostly just, basic straight hallways with, your typical sci-fi looking hallway. And so what I did is I just made a generic hallway, or a generic I made a generic hallway that works and is able to be copy pasted in all of the different forms, and it works out really well. Um, it's got a really nice staircase like copy pastable block too. Um, it has it has the main floor, and then it has underneath, it has access conduits, and these access areas are actually four-way on all of them. So you literally get, like, when you get underneath, it's just like infinity in all directions. It's huge. But I do actually have some of the actual interior finished already. Well, they're not finished, but like just in already. Um, uh, and I'll go ahead and show some of that off right now. I I do this with all of my ships. They have to have some place for them to dock up to something like this, or to a regular dock. And so I built a little docking port on the front of the ship here. It's not a universal dock. I might eventually redo it as a universal docking port. But as it is right now, it's just it kind of blends in. It can actually it actually closes up, and it just kind of blends in with the rest of the hull. Um, but you kind of have a little welcome room here. It's just like a little airlock, whatnot, whatever you want to call it. You come up here, and it links up with the rest of the ship. And then also you go up here, and it comes up into this kind of room thing that I haven't finished yet. It's gonna be some kind of something, I don't know, maybe a sensor room or something. but you come up here and then it makes up the rest of the ship. And then I have all of these thruster block strips here. These are all for these are all basically going to once I'm done placing all of these copy pasted floors and whatnot, thrusters are all going to link up and I'll have like these big strips of thruster going all the way through the ship. Um, uh, but I was using these thruster blocks as like guidelines for all the copy pastable blocks. And so here is an example, and I actually have to get rid of these blocks because they're no longer actually real. These don't exist. They just ignore them. They don't exist. But let's see. Yeah, this is what I was talking about with it being going on forever. But here's a good example of what the interior actually looks like. Oh, that's a mess up. Must have been with the copy paste when I rotated it. I hate that. That's a glitch. I don't know if it's if it must be an old. Well, I pasted that back in the day, so that probably is a old bug that might not do that anymore. But anyway, we can go this way. And yeah, see, it just happened every time I rotated the thing. Anyway, these ones are good. But in here we have the bridge. The bridge is probably one of the most famous locations in the show. Everybody knows what the bridge of the Galactica looks like from the original series. Ironically, now the new Galactica's bridge is probably more CIC is more popular, more well known than this one is, unfortunately. But this is the bridge. The chair actually rotates. I don't think I have I'm not in the chair, so I can't. I'm not in here physically, so I can't press the button. But it's a separate entity that rotates because this whole console thing is supposed to rotate in the show. And then we got all of the command chairs down here. The pit, we'll call it the pit down here. It's kind of cool. And there's a walkway that goes up both sides. You have these are supposed to be like the control chairs or whatnot. And then down here I got a door. It's supposed to go into like the access to the maintenance areas of the ship. All right, and then we have the computer core or computer section. And then I'm gonna have these are gonna go off into like little offices off to the side. I think I'm gonna have Adama's office / quarters is gonna be like right here. This actually kind of makes sense now that I think about it. It's a window and whatnot. But this right here is the main window, and actually, to be honest, it's a little bit bigger than it should be, because on the actual model, when you look at the model of the Galactica, it has a little rectangular window thing right here, but it's nowhere near this big. So I may not have made the ship 1-to-1, but that's okay. It's already big enough. I don't need to make it any bigger. Anyway, so this right here actually is going to have, you can kind of see the rail dockers, or the rail right there, is going to actually have the shield that pops up when the commander says muster up shields. The door on the window will actually go up and close. Hopefully I can eventually get that installed, but I just haven't gotten around to it. So yeah, the bridge is basically done. There is another section or another place that I want to show off really quick. Of course, I have some more interior that I've kind of snaked around just to play around with it. But up here, I have in here, I have the computer core. I know it kind of looks like a warp core, but it's supposed to be a computer core. I kind of tried to make it look like it's like some crazy crazy heat sink or something like that. But yeah, it's the computer core, and it's also the actual core of the ship is right there. You can go down into this pit, which also gives you access to all the maintenance shafts. Um, uh, but here is this is actually brand new. I just installed these the other day. Oh, I accidentally deleted a block. It's over. It's done. It's the end of the world now. But anyway, uh, this is a brand new rail and stair system, or I guess you could call it ramp, whatever you want to call it. Um, uh, that I saw on the dock. Somebody made a really cool copy pastable one, and I just kind of copied it because I didn't feel like trying to get the copy paste template and just made it. So, um, uh, but yeah, I still have to copy paste it onto this side over here. But I really love these new level of detail blocks. They're so good, so nice. It just really does kind of add a little bit to the game. Makes the game a little bit less drab, if you know what I mean. Um, Saber needs to get on there and make some more because I love them. Anyway, so we got this ship is just so cavernous on the inside. It's ridiculous. Um, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with the massive like uh industrial areas of the ship, like the hangar and the ship storage and stuff like that. This thing can fit like a ton of big old shuttles and stuff, and fighters, and it's just crazy. But then we have like coming back here is just insane. Um, oh, I gotta open a space there. I need to fill that in. Um, this thruster assembly back here is probably one of the most cavernous parts of the ship. It's almost bigger, I think, than the yeah, it's bigger than the head. It's way bigger than the head. Um, uh, but ironically, it's probably going to be mostly filled with thrusters. Probably put some big cavernous sections with some cool looking interior stuff, but it's going to be filled with subsystems. It's currently sporting some very heavy thruster modules and power reactors, which eventually need to be deleted anyway because they're not the right ones. Um, and then, of course, there's the big, massive thrusters. But anyway, so yeah, there's not really much to it right now, other than uh, what I've gotten done so far. Because the exterior is taking so long to build because of the amount of detail that has to go into it. It really is. It's taking a while. But yeah, there you can see that big old hole where I still need to install the other fighter bay, the other fighter launchers. But so yeah, it's an awesome ship. It's just absolutely awesome, and I can't wait to finish it for you guys. Um, Comment in the comments on ideas that you guys might have that I could try and implement with this ship because I've I'm gonna need ideas for the interior for this thing because of how big it is. I'm gonna need a lot of different ideas. I'm probably gonna be building a lot of large cavernous areas on the inside because it is so big. I'm probably gonna try to put in giant cargo bays and some maybe some really big like mock-up mock manufacturing floors, maybe some uh, I don't know. It's gonna be huge on the inside. So but yeah, just give me some ideas if you have them. If you don't, then just leave a comment on your thoughts. Um, uh, but yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're watching the live stream, thanks for joining us. Um, uh, anyway, we will see you guys next time on King's Cubed, where hopefully we'll be able to review another ship. Um, uh, we're planning on doing some reviews of some ships, and I've still got more StarMade builds I want to show you guys. And also, we're going to be getting into Skywanderers too. They just released their graphical update, and I'm getting excited about it. I don't have anything to show off really yet because I haven't really got a chance to build in that game yet. But I still want to show off the game because it's pretty cool. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Bye.